The Broadhaven UFO incident. UFO landed behind a school, witnessed by multiple students, and strange humanoid aliens were observed. February 4, 1977, should have been a normal winter day for students at a school in Broadhaven, a town in Pembrokeshire in Wales. However, what they experienced that day thrust them and their modest community into the spotlight of the world, changing many of their lives forever. This encounter later became known as the Broadhaven UFO incident. It was the day that 14 children, just 10 years old, had their close encounter with an unidentified flying object, in which it is considered one of the most famous ufological cases in the United Kingdom. One of those guys is Dave Davies, who has spent more than 4 decades searching for answers. Speaking recently on BBC's Radio 4's Uncanny podcast, Dave described exactly what happened as a child. He said throughout the day, students had come in from recess saying that they had seen a strange object flying around the perimeter of the school. The director thought they were playing a prank on him at the same time, so he did not go out and take a look. At the end of the day, the last bell rang, and I thought I'd investigate myself, so I went up to the upper perimeter of the school, and the object appeared behind some trees. It was about 50 feet long, about the size of a bus, and it fluoresced around it. Dave described the object as having a central dome on top that covered the middle third with the pulsing red light on the roof. Other children reported seeing tall, skinny alien creatures. He said, I felt this uncontrollable urge to run away from what I was seeing. I looked back as he ran away to see him disappear into the trees, he recounted, but there was no fear at all. It was pure wonder and amazement. It was something I had always thought of as a science fiction fantasy, but suddenly it became a reality. After their strange day, Dave and all the other children returned home to their parents and told them what they had seen. The following Monday, word spread and the media picked up the story. And the witness said, so of course, as soon as we got to the school, the principal approached us, isolated the students who had seen the object, and had us draw pictures of what we saw and also write an account. He was very skeptical, but the accounts were so similar that he had to believe that they had in fact seen something. Dave said it was not long before children were appearing in newspapers and on television screens around the world. Although in many ways it was an incredible experience, the witness acknowledged that it had its negative side, and there were various drawings by kids of the Broadhaven UFO incident. He said he recalled it affected my high school for the next 5 years. I was the kid who had seen the UFO, so it made me a target for bullies. I was systematically bullied for about 5 years, but I was not going to say I was lying when I told them the truth. And to this day, Dave's story has not changed. He's still sure of what he saw that day. He says, I would love for people from other planets to visit us. One of the things that I've always been proud of is that I don't have prejudices of any kind, because I accepted that when I was 10 years old. That is kind of hard to be mean to someone when we have extraterrestrial visits. If you can accept aliens, you can accept anything, he said. The unsolved mystery of the Broadhaven UFO incident. Emlyn Williams of the Swansea UFO Network, which he runs with his colleague Mike Maunder and Steve Drusen, commented that several alternative suggestions had been given for what the boys saw in 1977. However, he assured that many of them did not agree. Williams told Wales Online, Broadhaven is a tight-knit community where most of the people know each other, and a lot of the kids come from farming. This is important. There was a little difference in what the children drew, but they all described a ship with a dome on top. A couple of kids even saw someone walking around holding some sort of gadget. It had a big effect on some of them, Williams said. He said one explanation put forward is that the object was a sewage tanker as it was close to a sewage farm. However, if the heavy vehicle like that had entered that area, it would still be there now, as it would have been directly stuck in an area like that. A couple of kids saw something going up. This is unusual. Because of the trees, a helicopter would not have landed there and it would have been noisy. Some people think it could have been a military plane that landed there, but then again, that would have been very loud. Farm machinery was also suggested, but that's unlikely because a lot of the guys had farming backgrounds and were very familiar with the gadgets. Now, the British Ministry of Defense, of course, denied the extraterrestrial activity, giving as a possible explanation some training maneuver from the nearby RAF Brodie base that had been witnessed by the students of the school. However, declassified documents later showed that the military itself ordered a covert operation carried out by military police to investigate this strange UFO incident. So why would they investigate a maneuver carried out by themselves or their allies? Nothing conclusive was ever reported to the public about these sightings, and to this day the Broadhaven UFO remains a mystery, as do other similar cases such as the Ariel School of South Africa, where the children witnessed UFOs and aliens in 1994, and the Richmond School from Napier, New Zealand in 1970. The Broadhaven Triangle. To end the article, it should be noted that there were other strange events in those days that could be attributed perhaps to the same phenomenon, a series of incidents that would earn the area the nickname the Broadhaven Triangle. For example, 2 months after what happened at the school, Rosa Granville, owner of the Haven Fort Hotel, was in bed at 2:30 a.m. when strange noises and lights woke her up. She recounted seeing an upside-down saucer next to the hotel and 2 faceless humanoid creatures with pointed heads. She said, and what she told BBC Wales, "It was so hot that my face felt burned. Light and flames of all colors came out of it. Then the creatures came out of these flames," she said. Miss Granville sent a letter to her MP, Nicholas Edwards, in which she said the incident left her shaken and disturbed and not in the least bit looking forward to another meeting like this. She wrote, "I'd love to hear an explanation. It would go a long way to ease the sense of shock I've felt since my encounter." At Ripperston Farm, a few miles away, Billy Coombs and his wife Pauline reported a series of strange events that scared their cattle. Mrs. Coombs recounted driving her children to school one day when her car was followed by what looked like a rugby ball that was on fire. Then one night, the Coombs dialed 999 when a 7-foot-tall figure wearing a spacesuit appeared in the... This is ridiculous. The ET appeared in their living room window. The policeman dispatched to investigate the farmhouse later noted that in 26 years of service, quote, "that was the scariest family I have ever seen," he said. So what do you think about this? A lot of Wales UFO and ET experiences. This is by Anne Shrivastava on Infinity Explorers. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.